Hey folks, what's up? Welcome back to another Palm Masters video, and with the new month slash also New Year as well, right? Coming up, let's do one of these again, right, where we go over some of the updates and new units that were coming out this month and sort of compare them to each other as even though it makes no sense because they all do different things and such, right? But just for fun as usual, right? So a quick pop this one up there as usual, right? And let's get into it then. All right. So, yeah, this one we got quite a few things, right? We got, well, I think 4 summable units, which isn't much of a surprise. I mean, 4 is usually the average, but we got like 3, 3-star, 4-star grid expansions. We got a lodge unit. Got one, a 5-star spotlight expanded with its grid, and then like 2 other poke fair expanded. Then you got like the EX for Sycamore as well. So actually three further expanded poke fair grids, but yeah, and like 1 EX. So a lot of stuff as you could probably tell. So anyways, let's start this. Let's start this. I guess. So. Probably at the bottom over here, unfortunately, is Marlin. Marlin didn't really get too much, right? The main issue with Marlin hasn't really been fixed, which is he doesn't really do much. Like, he has, those defense buffs and, got, some extra stuff here and there, but overall, didn't change too much in terms of his kit. Like, if you want to say he's a tank, he's not that great of a tank. If you want to say he's a support, he's also not that great of a support. If you want to say he does damage on a sink, he's also not great at that either, so unfortunately not too much going for him, and also no support EX as well, so yeah, slightly unfortunate situation for the man over here. Moving up, we have Blaine. Look, here's the thing where how useful of a unit, right, versus how powerful of a unit a sync pair can be, right? Because Blaine, very useful unit, not incredibly powerful, right? Just very useful because it's a weather setter, right? It's a sun setter, obviously in certain cases, right? 1 extra sun setter is a huge boost, right? For like a gauntlet run, for example, right? But obviously there's also, the standard for weather setters have been raised quite a bit this past year. And he did get a bit of a grid, which is alright, but he also did get the MP Refresh on Sunday, which is slightly hilarious. Same thing with got the same treatment as Winona there. And overall, I think if you want to compare him to Winona, almost Winona overall has a better kit, right? And Winona also, she's alright, but anyways, point being, Blaine's kind of whatever. So yeah, useful unit, but useful doesn't really equate to good. Right, those are very, very separate things. All right, moving on. Next, we have Marshall, I guess. I mean, he got an okay grid. It's nothing crazy, right? He had an okay kit before, but if you want to compare 4-star summable fighting type damage dealers, Machamp always was better overall, right? But can you maybe run him as some funny striker tank sort of unit with Drain Punch? The answer is probably not really. Maybe a bit, but honestly, the defenses are yeah, no, right? It's gonna be tough, but yeah, he got some nice stuff. Staggering too is neat. It's not great, but it's all right, right? And the honor roll on Rock Smash is definitely really nice, at least, got stuff like Relentless, so we got some nice stuff, but overall not much to make a huge difference, right? Next up, I'd say probably the new Azumarill, which at least is free, which is nice, but the overall kit here isn't fantastic either, along with the fact that it is a support without an EX, right? So yeah, it gives you some, nice buffs. You do have special attack over here, and special defense along with physical defense, but yeah, it's rough out there for this unit. The defenses are fine. They have move gauge acceleration, which is cool. At least quick tempo wise, so you could maybe use in like a team where you start like attacking earlier, right? But those teams are one, you know, relatively rare. But otherwise, nothing too much in the kit. It's just like standard. You got like first aid 2, which is nice, but it's also just 2, which is not like a lot. And yeah, it's just pretty standard stuff. Nothing really groundbreaking here overall in the kit. And it's just not the best, I guess. Right. All right. Moving on. Next we have the Kukui. He got an EX. The EX really doesn't do much. Like in terms of like all the tech units in the game that could have gotten an EX, is probably like the least relevant, because like he doesn't even have like a tech and 8 multiplier for some reason, even though he has a tech unit. He does have this thing, which is rarely ever relevant, because physical and special damage reduction is just, you bypass that with crit, right? So like, who cares? Unless the opponent also like has physical, special damage reduction, and a crit shield, then that would be nice. But like otherwise, it's just completely, well, crit shield or I guess vigilance, right? Or some kind of crit protection. But otherwise, this is like completely irrelevant, and this guy just doesn't have a tech nuke, innate tech nuke. And yeah, as for the regular kit, you have the flinch thing, which is cool, but the also slightly annoying thing where you can't like continuously spam it because it's a quick move and you have to like recharge it, and that could cause some issues with your flinch chaining if you're trying to, at least, because you know it's not guaranteed. So Lear's alright, but nowadays like -1 defense it's not bad. You know, there's this one's AoE, 1 gauge, all that stuff, which is neat, but yeah, there's just better physical defense debuffers. He has good solid base speed, I guess, but overall also not a unit. Like again, it's fine. It's useful in certain cases. It's just a nice, I guess, sword filler unit. That yeah, really great in Gauntlet, but probably not too much elsewhere. All right, well, really great might be a bit of a stretch. Anyways, moving on. Next up, probably want to say the Lodged On, maybe, right? Again, unfortunate circumstance, called it's a Lodge unit, so it doesn't have an EX, which really sucks, especially for supports. But this has a really nice kit, man. I love this kit. Honestly, like, this might be like my second favorite kit this month. Not that it's like the best unit ever, but it's just like really cool. You got X special attack all, you got speed, special defense buffs by 2, you know, struggle bug to debuff opponent's special attack as well. You got healthy healing, match remedy, move gauge fresh 4, very simple, straightforward to the point kit, right? You got decent enough, you know, defensive stats, right? The speed not great, but you also got stuff like vigilance, sync regen. If it had a 6 REX, which would have been great. This is very funny. Struggle bug on a roll, which is like, what? It already guarantees -1. What are you doing? This is probably like a bug. You know, no pun intended, but probably a bug over here that might have to fix that when it comes out, but we'll see, I guess. Some other physical defensive buffs, team sharp entry, like just so many like really nice things. Escape artists that aren't like, you know, crazy next level, but it's just the basics. It's a very basic sort of support, and it's good. It's really good, man. I love it. Fantastic. Anyways, moving on. Next up, maybe the other Dawn. This Dawn is awkward. It's not that like she doesn't have anything going for her. I mean, she does have a pretty good ghost nuke. It's not the best, right? Wrong. It is the best. Okay. Alright, she does have like the best ghost nuke in the game, right? But it's not like that much higher than Renegade Cynthia or Singsu Karina, which you like isn't like a dig at Dawn, obviously. I mean, you know, #1 ghost nuke is not nothing, right? It's not completely nothing. But outside of that, first of all, her DPS is really bad. Yeah, I mean, it's get better than like Fall, Acerola, and Morty, which like regular, which is a very low bar for one. But also, the other thing, the other big issue with this unit is you do need a lot. You have to build a team around her to make her work, right? Like, she needs a lot of support and help to, like, achieve stuff like that, which, you know, good nuke, but otherwise, DPS is again, pretty bad, right? She does have a very, very, very good debuff over here with the Feather Dance. It's like, what, -4 every hit, which is a lot. Definitely a lot. And there's some cool stuff over there if you want to do Grab Bag. I think I talked about this more in detail in her Choosem video tomorrow, so I'll explain that in more detail. But, like, the Grab Bag 9 plus extra special ghost damage thing is kind of neat. So she has a really fun debuffer, but yeah, she's not terrible. She's just awkward, I guess, in a way, unfortunately. Moving on, let's see. Probably Wally. Wally got some nice stuff in his grid for sure, especially the self-buff stuff. He kind of like sort of got the silver ho treatment, which is neat, right? With stuff like, you know, Ferocious Moves 9. Right, Dire Hit, Critical Eye is nice too. You got stuff like, ignore whatever this grid is. You got Speedster Sync, which is an extra bit of, you know, compensation for his otherwise pretty unattainable cakewalk. Also not really worth going for, but it doesn't fix all of his issues, right? But, I mean, Wally's still Wally, man. He's still a incredibly powerful fighting type DPS unit. I'm pretty sure he's like 1 million plus, right? Damage yielded with Focus Blast, which is pretty impressive, right? Still pretty impressive in fighting zones. So he's nice as a DPS still, but again, a lot of his issues probably are, you know, could have got fixed a bit better, but he's okay. He's okay. Anyways, next one, maybe Diantha. Diantha got this expansion, which was okay, right? Just like Wally, they fixed some of her issues. Not really all of them, right? Not really all of them, but they fixed some of them, which is neat. Charging Strike 9 helps a bit, right? Satisfied Snicker 9 does also help as well if you do want to go the Devastation route. Maybe, for example, if you know, support EX sync first and then sync with Diantha, right? By that time, you probably would have maybe -5. Maybe -6 on this, which would be cool. So you could get that at least. Speedy Entry is nice too. On a roll could be helpful, but yeah, I mean, it's Diantha, man. She still has really good fairy DPS. It's just that she does have some issues with her striker nuke and gauges, right? Gauges is still a bit of an issue there as well, but they made it a bit better. Definitely made it better, at least, right? You could say that. Anyways, what else can we have here? Next up, maybe Sycamore, right? Sycamore got his EX, long awaited EX, by the way. Wow, a lot of people are waiting for this one. Yeah, he's still, you know, he's got a lot of really good things going for him. Obviously, he has the plus, since everyone has him, you know, max out for free, basically, right? He does have that +6 special attack speed and special defense on his sync, which is really nice, and that big issue of he buffs like almost nothing if you don't sync with him issue is solved, right? Definitely with the fact that he could support EX now, right, which makes him much worth running. So yeah, having all these are definitely nice. He's still a really well, he can be a really good tank, right? Like self-sustaining tank with those you know, good tank stats and you know, the fact that he gets the special defense buffs. Maybe not that great physical defensively, right? Probably still have some problems there, but yeah, with Horn Leech, right, and gradual heals there, that could definitely be nice. Although there is a bit of a problem with that, which is he is not like offensively self-sufficient enough sometimes to make the Horn Leech do enough damage to heal, right? So he does, if you do want that, like, this is one big downside on that is that he does need support, right? Which is slightly awkward for a support to need support to make him like work. But you know, if you're not worried too much about him being a tank, he still has all that other stuff. But it's just that if he's not being a tank, you know, not being that massive, you know, self-sustaining tank, he does lose a lot of value in comparison to a lot of other units, right? So there's that bit of a concern. But yeah, that's Sycamore. Moving on, we could have the new Shauna, I guess, right? Shauna, I have my issues with her kit, but the baseline is good, right? The baseline is solid. You got everything you really need, almost everything, right, from a physical support, which is, well, at least for her, if you do sync with her, Sporty X and all, right, you do have a guaranteed max physical attack and max crit, which is, that's the, you know, that's the basis. Very, very, very good. Yeah, at least have that covered, right? The spiky shield can come in handy in certain situations, especially in scripted stages, right? Her defenses are solid, right? Tank that could take probably quite a few hits, right? Some of her buffs are relatively slow, but she also got stuff like mini potions, which is cool. 1 gauge spam over here is nice for support as well. She's a bit of a cone, unfortunately, when you're not using her spiky shield or you know, the initial buffing stage. So bit of an issue there, but otherwise it's just you have the baseline. This is just right. +6 attack, +3 crit is just good, man. It's just good. I think the only support on this list that could do that. Not that we have too many sports here. Actually, we have a decent amount. But yeah, she's pretty much the only one that could do that this month of the sports. So that's just, again, just always valuable. Moving on, next one, probably Bead. Bead is nice, man. Bead is really, really nice. Do I like the grid expansion? Honestly, not really. Not a huge fan of the grid expansion that he got. Like stuff like this, like this is all like, other than this, right? This is probably the only one that's more general, and it's still situational, because if you're using Bead as like psychic or fire, obviously, so it's not very useful. But a lot of his stuff that he got are really situational, right? These are really, really, really situational stuff. So I almost feel like, you know, as if you're going for like general grids, he basically got like almost nothing. But that aside, right, he's just a really, really nice unit at base with a very, very, very efficient debuffer that could give you both psychic terrain and sun. Has a really, really nice fairy nuke, and obviously all the max move damage that he could do there as well. Right, got the status, you know, thing, which can be situationally useful, right? I guess that's just like the issue. So with Bead, right? But yeah, a lot of really, really great stuff here as well. He can have some solid DPS and psychic terrain at least, as you know, on top of that. But just a very, 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 very nice and efficient debuffer overall that could give you some really good single or maybe 2 times, right, instances of burst damage when you ever need him. That could also set terrains and all that stuff. So yeah, Bead's good. Bead's very, 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 very nice. Moving on, next one, probably Cynthia, right? Cynthia obviously got another expansion, which we've talked about earlier today. About some of the issues with that. Not that it's like bad, because like nothing she got was bad. Like all the grids, all that stuff, this is fine. This is all great stuff, right? I mean, setting sand, right, with sand extension, right, the defense debuffs as well now, some like funny slash stuff you could do, and just overall, right, just an amazing transformation from a kind of mediocre unit when she first released into just such a great damage dealer that she is now, right, which is just really nice to see. Love what they've done with all these buffs, but you know, more energy would be nice for cases like this. But anyways, yeah, that aside, she's just a really good unit, man. Just a really great unit overall, as a damage dealer, but also, you know, maybe for some other stuff if you need that as well, right? The weather, whatever. And last two, I mean, this is pretty obvious. Singsu is by far the best unit this month, right? Like, no one's really close. But Lycia is low-key really nice, too, right? But let's talk a bit about Lycia first, I guess. Just because, like, Lycia is just... She's just a no-nonsense damage healer that does a lot of damage, right? A lot of damage. She doesn't do too much other stuff. She's not there to be, you know, quirky or whatever. Not that that's a bad thing, by the way, right? I mean, you know, some of the best units, like, none of the best units in the game are there. Well, maybe outside of Ashe, right? But, like, outside of Ashe, right? Most of the best units in the game, obviously, outside of just doing damage, they also do, like, a lot of really cool other stuff as well, which is why she's not one of the best units in the game. But, yeah, she doesn't do a lot of that other cool, fun stuff. But, I mean, unless you count this, but I'm not a huge fan of picking up these nodes, but personally, but she's just a good damage healer. She's a very powerful damage healer. Really powerful damage healer. Just, she's a numbers girl, right, basically. And she's very good at it. Not very interesting overall of a unit otherwise, but big numbers, and you know, sometimes when they're that, you know, powerful, it's hard to argue. The best fairy type damage healer or DPS and best fairy type striker nuker is, yeah, well earned, right? Yeah, so yeah, not too much to talk about. She's just really good. Diantha, on the other hand, a lot to talk about, right? This is a unit with a billion things on her kit, right? She's the sort of unit that I talked about earlier. Let's talk about in terms of like the absolute top tier units in the game, right? Yes, she does damage. She does a lot of damage, fantastic amounts of damage. But also, she does so many other things, right? Rock Zone, right? She got a lot of really nice debuffs, like -2 defense AOE every single time on her B move, right? And buffs the team's defense as well every single time too. She got sync move countdown, right? She's got, I don't even know, man. She's got like so many great things. Move gauge acceleration if you really need it as well. She's powerful, man. She is incredibly powerful. She's incredibly powerful. Extension on zone if you ever need that too, right? Or if you, you know, don't have that MP refresh, it's still fine, right? Extension is nice, but not really that big of a deal, right? The team unbending thing's pretty cool, right? Fully self-sufficient, all that stuff. Yeah, she's freaking powerful, man. Speed debuffs, team crit buffs. Right, yeah, where are we? Oh, so many things she does. Honestly, yeah, she's really, you know, she's Rock Zone Thunderbolt Red, man, without a master passive. Rock Zone Thunderbolt Red. Really, crazy stuff here, crazy stuff. I'm not gonna say she's better than Thunderbolt Red. I mean, they both have upsides and you know, certain pros and cons, right? They're not completely comparable, but a lot of comparable stuff here. And if you're even like, even if you're slightly comparable to Thunderbolt Red, you're a good unit. and you know, she has a lot of things you could compare there, and a lot of different things, right? Things that, again, she does better than Thunderbolt Red, and you know, also things that she doesn't do as good, obviously, as well. But again, even if you're in that conversation with Thunderbolt Red, which is one of the, you know, top units in the game, like, you are also one of the top units in the game. So really good stuff here. So yeah, anyways, that's me this one, I guess. Hope you all enjoyed, guys. Think in the comments down below, like, enjoy the videos for our channel for more amounts of content. Good units, man, good units this month. All right, a lot of really nice free stuff too. Like, this Lodge Dawn is legitimately amazing, honestly. So yeah, obviously Sycamore upgrade. Ooh, can't wait for that one. A lot of people have been waiting for this one. Wish it came a bit sooner, maybe. So it would have been a bit more, you know, just a lot of more powerful supports have come out, right? Which kind of, well, it's not a bad thing, but Yeah, can't wait for his power boost, right? We'll see what they could do with the power boost. If in the power boost they make it so that like he could buff crit, that would be insane, first of all. But you know, even if he doesn't, I think what would be really nice for him would be like if he gets, if they think buffing crit is like way too much for him, right? For like a free support, but at least giving him like personal guaranteed crits on his like Horn Leech would be massive. That would be massive. Right, or maybe better ways to buff some physical stats like physical defense, physical attack. But we'll see. Really nice stuff here. Cynthia keeps getting better for no reason. Well, there's a reason. She's Cynthia, right? Yeah, good stuff. All right, have fun, folks. I'll see you guys in the next one then.